It was the winter of 1924. A prostitute named Yan Hong was holding her son, little Douzi, as she came to the street. She found an opera troupe performing monkey acrobatics. All the performers were kids. One of the boys tried to use the crowd as cover to escape. The scene instantly fell out of control. Some audience got upset and started picking a fight with the master. The big brother grabbed a brick and smashed it against his own head. The brick shattered, but he didn't bleed at all. The onlookers only wanted to see something exciting. Once they saw he really had iron head skills, they stopped making trouble. Although the big brother's quick thinking got them out of the mess, the master still beat him harshly afterward. To the master, smashing bricks was low class. Only hard practice was the true path. By this time, Yan Hong had followed everyone back to their camp. The master's name was Guan. All those kids were his disciples. Yan Hong planned to leave her son there to learn opera, but after Master Guan observed little Douzi, he refused. It turned out little Douzi's right hand had 6 fingers. Yan Hong said she could afford to raise him, but a boy cannot grow up with a prostitute, so she had no choice but to bring him here. But Master Guan said the kid couldn't perform with a hand like that. Yan Hong's begging was in vain. She grabbed little Douzi and put him away.
手冷，手都冻冰了。
And just like that, little Douzi joined the troupe. The other kids all bullied him, saying he came from a brothel. So in front of them, little Douzi took the only robe his mother had left him and threw it into the fire. The big brother, little Shitou, treated little Douzi very well and wanted to let him sleep in his bed, but little Douzi didn't appreciate it. Early the next morning, the kids started training. Little Douzi was forced to press his legs using bricks. He was new and totally unused to this kind of training. The big brother couldn't bear to see it and kicked away one of the bricks for him, but the master saw the move at once. For that, little Shitou was beaten and forced to kneel with a basin of water on his head. That night, it started snowing hard. Deep into the night, little Shitou finally finished his punishment. Without a word, little Douzi picked up his quilt and wrapped it around the big brother. He finally realized that big brother really was someone who treated him well. Time flies. Little Douzi grows into a teenager. Little Douzi plays female roles, but he sings a line, "I was born a gentle maiden," wrong as "I was born a manly lad." For this, the master beats him brutally. Little Douzi tells big brother that if one day he gets beaten to death, the 3 copper coins he's stashed away will belong to him one day while everyone's resting. Little Lizi says candied hawthorn is the best snack in the world. He says that if he ever becomes a big star, he will eat candied hawthorn as his daily meals. As he's talking, he walks to the door. Taking advantage of big brother's distraction, he runs off. Little Douzi follows him.
小豆子，师哥，这衣里那仨大字儿，你别忘了。
Little Lizi finally gets to eat the candied hawthorn. Suddenly, a carriage rushes up behind them. In it sits the Chinese opera star. Little Lizi pulls Little Douzi into the theater. Watching the glorious performance on stage, both boys are moved to tears. After the show, Little Dozy drags Little Lies back to the troupe. By then, Big Brother is being punished by the master for letting the two run off. Little Dozy tells the master that he ran away of his own will. It had nothing to do with Big Brother. Then he climbs up onto the bench himself, ready for the beating. Master Guan freezes for a moment, then starts beating Little Dozy viciously. One day, Master Guan tells the story of Farewell My Concubine. Xiangyu is a peerless warlord of the world, but heaven refuses to bless him. Finally, he falls into the enemy's ambush and is trapped. The warlord ends up with only a horse and one woman by his side. The warlord tells his concubine to flee. The concubine refuses. She pours him one last cup of liquor, dances for him one last time, and then kills herself with his sword. Faithful to the end, Master Guan feels that in this story, there's a lesson about both acting and living. Each person is responsible for his own fate. Little Dozy is enlightened. He resolves to work hard from then on. Not long after, Grand Eunuch Zhang from the former dynasty is celebrating his birthday and wants to host a private opera show. The theater manager comes to the troupe to pick performers. He spots Little Dozy, but Little Dozy again sings I was born a manly lad instead of I was born a gentle maiden. The manager face drops. The deal is about to fall apart. Big Brother grabs Little Dozy and stuffs the pipe into his mouth. After a while, blood starts flowing from Little Dozy's mouth. The boys all strike martial poses, hoping the manager will give them a chance. Just then, Little Dozy opened his mouth again, and this time, he finally sings the correct line. I was born a gentle maiden. Because of that, the troupe successfully secures the performance. At the Grand Eunuch Zhang's birthday banquet, Little Dozy plays concubine, and Big Brother plays warlord. Together, they perform Farewell My Concubine. Grand Eunuch Zhang is extremely satisfied. After the show, the two boys wander around the estate and discover a fine sword. Little Shito says if the warlord had had this blade, he would have been able to kill the enemy. Then Concubine would have become empress. Hearing this, Little Dozy promises Big Brother he will give him this sword someday. Little Shito's brow is wounded. Little Dozy leans in to lick the wound for him. Grand Eunuch Zhang's men come looking for Little Dozy. They just pick him up and carry him off. Soon Little Dozy is brought to Zhang's chamber. The atmosphere in the room is eerie. Little Dozy is nervous and feels like peeing. The eunuch immediately brings him a crystal censer, saying Little Dozy should use this to pee. The boy is at a loss, but can only obey. It's night when Little Dozy finally leaves the mansion. Little Shito sees his dazed expression, but has no idea what happened. They find an unabandoned baby under the city wall. Little Dozy wants to take the child back. The master tries to stop him, saying everyone has their own fate. Better not meddle. But Little Dozy insists and brings the baby back to the troupe. Time jumps ahead to 1937. Little Shito and Little Dozy are now famous stars in Beijing opera. Little Shito's stage name is Xiaolou. Little Dozy's is Die Yi. just like the star they once saw when they were kids. Now, when they appear on stage, it's packed, crowds screaming their names. Yet Dieyi's attention is caught by a street vendor selling candied hawthorn. He thinks of little Liz, who committed suicide. The manager urges him to go inside, saying Mr. Yuan is here to cheer them on. Mr. Yuan is enormously wealthy and a well-known opera aficionado in Beijing. Dieyi's performance of Concubine is breathtaking, and Mr. Yuan is thrilled. Xiaolou, however, says they'd be just as popular even without Mr. Yuan. At that moment, Mr. Yuan himself comes backstage. He praises Dieyi and gives him a set of expensive rhinestone hair ornaments. Mr. Yuan invites them to his home for drinks. Xiaolou says he's going to drink in a brothel and turns him down. Xiaolou heads to Beijing's famous red light district. He's there specifically to see a girl named Ju Xian. Unfortunately, Ju Xian is entertaining customers. The guests are crude, forcing her to feed them liquor with her mouth. Ju Xian throws herself off the balcony in anger. Xiaolou happens to catch her. To calm things down, he pours a bowl of liquor and declares that today is the day he and Ju Xian are getting engaged. He drinks half the bowl himself. Ju Xian is stunned for a moment, then finishes the other half. But the men don't back down. They still want to drag Ju Xian away. To intimidate them, Xiaolou smashes a teapot on his own head. Dieyi hears about this. Xiaolou explains that he only did it to get her out of trouble, nothing to take seriously. He says that when Dieyi comes along someday, he'll understand. But Dieyi suddenly snaps.
兄弟，哟，对不住兄弟，师哥今儿神不在家，说走嘴了。
师哥，我想让你跟我，不对，就让我跟你好好唱一辈子戏，不行吗？
这不小半辈子都唱过来了。
不行，说的是一辈子，差1年、1个月、1天、1个时辰，都不算一辈子。
蝶衣，你可真是不疯魔不成活呀！唱戏得疯魔，不假。可要是活着也疯魔，在这人世上，在这凡人堆儿里，咱们可怎么活哟？
Ever since being saved by Xiaolou, Ju Xian falls in love with him. She puts together all her savings and even takes off her shoes to buy her freedom. Barefoot, she goes looking for Xiaolou. He is shocked to see her. He introduces her to Dieyi, but Dieyi only says hello and goes back to his room. Ju Xian says her life was saved by Xiaolou, and that engagement liquor was drunk by him first. Now she has nowhere else to go. If he doesn't want her, she will just jump again. Xiaolou wraps his cloak around her and agrees to take her in as his wife. Everyone cheers.
菊仙小姐，你挨哪儿学的戏呀？
哟，我哪儿学过戏呀？
哦，没学过呀，那就别撒狗血了。
蝶衣，叫声嫂子吧，不叫不成了。还有今儿晚上证婚人这活儿，你得给我接下来。
黄天霸和妓女的戏不会演，师傅没教过。
这是哪儿按哪儿呢？
师弟，小楼在人前人后提起您来，说的可都是厚的话儿。
别走！你上哪儿去？
我上哪儿去？你管得着吗？
不是小楼，
师哥，师哥，你别走。袁四爷今儿晚上请咱们过去，要栽培咱们。
姓袁的他管得着姓段的吗？ 我是假霸王，你是真虞姬，让他栽培你一个人去吧。
师哥，师哥。
That night, Tie goes to Mr. Yuan's house alone. Suddenly, Tie notices the sword from Grand Eunuch Zhang's mansion. Mr. Yuan says he spent a fortune to acquire it. He can tell Tie likes it and offers it as a gift. Tie feels uneasy and says he wants to pay for it. Mr. Yuan replies that fine swords are for those who truly understand them. From this moment on, Tie is his soulmate.
四面楚河深，
剁，剁，
君王一起尽，渐渐过了身。
哇！别动，这是真家伙。
That night, Tie brings the sword to Xiaolou's home. Xiaolou is in the middle of his engagement banquet. Tie tosses the sword to him, telling him to take a good look, but Xiaolou is already drunk and doesn't recognize it. Tie turns to leave. Just then, shouts erupt in the street. The Japanese army has entered the city. The Japanese officers love opera and move into the theater with their troops. One Japanese soldier puts on Xiaolou's stage costume. Xiaolou is furious and fights with him. The Japanese capture Xiaolou and demand that Die perform in exchange for his release. Die goes alone to the Japanese camp and sings opera for the officers. As promised, Xiaolou is released. His first question is whether Die sung for the Japanese. Die says one of the Japanese named Qingmu truly understands opera. Hearing this, Xiaolou spits in Die's face and storms off in disgust. Soon, Juxian marries Xiaolou. Die doesn't attend the wedding. He goes to see Mr. Yuan instead. Master Guan calls them back to the old troop. They kneel, knowing he's angry. Under Master Guan's pressure, the two brothers finally reconcile. After Master Guan dies, the disciples gradually drift away. But one boy refuses to leave. He says the master sentenced him to kneel for 7 days, and the time isn't up yet. This boy is the same abandoned baby Die once brought back. The master named him Little Si. Die decides to take him as a disciple. In 1945, Japan surrenders. Nationalist troops enter Beijing. Die sings for wounded soldiers, but is harassed by them, so he walks off the stage in anger. The soldiers are furious. Xiaolou steps out to bow and apologize, but gets beaten instead. Juxian, who is pregnant, worries about her husband and rushes into the crowd. In the confusion, someone accidentally injures her, and she loses the baby. Afterward, Die is arrested as a traitor. In court, the prosecutor presents evidence of Die singing for the Japanese. Mr. Yuan said Die was forced at gunpoint. Singing to survive doesn't make him a traitor. Die is silent for a long time, then says he did indeed go to the Japanese banquet, but they didn't force him. Japanese officer Qingmu truly understood opera. If he were still alive, Chinese opera would have spread to Japan. The courtroom erupts. Just then, soldiers arrive. The commanding officer whispers something to the judge, and the judge immediately declares Die not guilty and free. Turns out the nationalist commander is a huge opera fan and adores Die. This time, his opera saved his life. In 1949, the People's Liberation Army enters Beijing. Die and Xiaolou once again go on stage to perform Farewell My Concubine for the troops, but because of long-term opium use, Die's voice cracks. To his surprise, the crowd bursts into thunderous applause. After this, Die resolves to quit opium, but quitting is hard. As the withdrawal hits, he becomes hysterical, smashing everything.
我冷。娘，水都冻冰了，我冷。
水都冰了。
Mr. Yuan is branded a counter-revolutionary. Xiaolou and Ju Xian attend his public struggle session. The meeting condemns Mr. Yuan as a reactionary capitalist. He is sentenced to be shot. Mr. Yuan wants to take a final stage walk, but he's shoved off immediately. To keep up with the times, the theater plans to stage modern operas. Die Yi thinks the costumes are weird, the size too literal, not in tune with Chinese opera's stylization. Little Si has grown up and taken part in many campaigns. He counters that old-time heroes and beauties are opera, but now workers and peasants are also opera. Seeing his disciple openly misinterpret his meaning, Die Yi flew into a rage. Die Yi sees that Little Si's heart isn't pure, that he only wants shortcuts, so he punishes him like before. But now Little Si is different. He tosses the basin aside and says this treatment violates the law. Die Yi is furious, beats him, and Little Si grabs his luggage and leaves. Die Yi, heartbroken, says he will be a bit part actor forever. Little Si replies that maybe that was true in the old society, but this is the new society. He refuses to be a bit player. Another 10 years pass. In 1964, during the Cultural Revolution, the authorities began interrogating Xiaolou with Little Si's maneuvering. The manager denounces him. Later, Die Yi and Xiaolou are paraded to the public square. Under pressure from the Red Guards, Xiaolou starts denouncing Die Yi, calling that Die Yi is crazy for opera. The Red Guards accuse him of dodging the main issue, driven into a corner. Xiaolou brings up Die Yi's past, singing for the Japanese, and possibly having homosexual relations with the capitalist Mr. Yuan. He throws the treasure sword into the fire. Ju Xian breaks through the crowd and snatches the sword out of the flames. Seeing all this, Die Yi falls into total despair. Like a madman, he breaks free from the guards. He says even the warlord has knelt and begged for mercy. How could the opera not fall? Then he exposes Ju Xian's past as a prostitute. The Red Guards turn to Xiaolou, asking if it's true. Crushed, Xiaolou says he never loved Ju Xian, and from now on he must cut ties with her. After the struggle session, Ju Xian returns the sword to Die Yi. She seems like she wants to say something, but leaves without a word. After bringing down Die Yi and Xiaolou, Little Si sneaks into the costume room to try on Die Yi's outfits. He dresses as concubine and sings, but in the middle of singing, the door opens, and so he ruins his own opera career.
干什么呢？
京剧院来走台的。
哎呦，是您二位呀？
啊？哦，呵呵，
我是您二位的戏迷。
是啊。哎呦呵，我们哥俩也有10年没见面了。
11年。
是
11年。
哈，是11年，是。
都是4人帮闹的，明白？
可不，都是4人帮闹的。
现在好了。
小尼姑年方28，
郑青春被师傅削去了头发。
我本是男儿郎，
又不是女娇娥。
错了，又错了。
我本是男儿郎，又不是女娇娥。 来，我们再来。
大王，快向宝剑赐予妾身。
非此，不 不可宣此团结呐！
大王，快将宝剑赐予
千万
先生。
不可！
大王，快将宝剑赐予先生。大王，汉兵他杀进来了。
在哪里？
小豆子。